Okay, so I selected a Twitter post template, and as soon as you click on one of those, it opens up into the editor inside of Canva, and that's what we're looking at here right now. So I've got a blank page over on the right here in my workspace, and over on the left, it's automatically opened up a bunch of different layouts that I can choose for my design. So these are templates that are chosen and created by Canva, and they're all very well designed, but any of these templates can be customized and changed and put the way that you want them to be. So a lot of these templates you'll see in the bottom right hand corner do have the word free next to them, and these ones are free and have no content that you will get charged for. However, if you come across one that does not have free in the bottom right hand corner, then at some point there will be a paid element here that you would have to use. So for example, this one here, as I hover my mouse over it, I can see a $ in the bottom right hand corner, and this is usually because Canva partners with stock photo companies in order to provide images that are useful for graphic design. However, to use some of these images, they do charge. So not something I'm going to spend a lot of time looking at today or in this class, but we will concentrate on using the free things because there's a lot of great free stuff out there. So I'm just going to pick one of these templates here, and let's say we'll use this Mother's Day one here. All I did is tap on it, and you can see it appears over there on the right hand side. Now, as I suggested earlier, lots of these elements are going to be editable and something that you could change. So if I wanted, I could double click here on Mother's Day and change it to Father's Day. Just as simple as typing on the document there. You also maybe see that as I select an element like the text here, I get a toolbar that appears along the top of my screen. And so from here, I can come in and I could change the font. I can change the font size. I can change the font color. And there's all kinds of colors in here to choose from. If I don't see the one I'm looking for, I can hit the plus sign here and get a color wheel that will let me use some very specific colors. Some fonts will allow you to bold and italicize them. This one does not. I can choose an alignment for my text, so to have it left, center, or right justified. This button here will shift everything to uppercase or back to lowercase and mixed case. I can choose to have bullets. I can play with the spacing, which is interesting here. I've got letter spacing, which shows how far apart the letters are. And I've got line height here, which will show how much space there is in between the lines I have there. So that's a useful option to have. I've also got a copy tool if I wanted to copy this text and have it somewhere else on the same document. And I've got something here called arrange, which is the ability to arrange things as layers on the document. So if you put a picture on top of this design right now, it's going to cover up my text. But I could come up here to the arrange button and select the picture, then select back, and the picture would go further back behind the text like a layer. I've got the option here to do transparency, so I can make the text a little bit more faint if I wanted to. That works the same for images. I can also apply a hyperlink if I wanted, or the trash can will delete that element altogether. And the same goes for anything else you see on the page here. So I could select the text down here and change that. I could even it says here drag and drop to replace this photo. So there are photos I could put in here as different background instead of this one here. So let's go look for photos, because over on the left hand side is our toolbar there, and you'll see a tab that says elements. So if I come over and tap on elements, you can see different things I have available to me in order to add to this design. One of them, in fact the first one, is free photos. So we talked about photos you have to pay for and photos you don't have to pay for. These are photos you don't have to pay for. So I can come in here and look for photos, and I can scroll through and look for one that I think might be appropriate. Alternatively, I can look up here in the search box at the top here, and I can search for images that I would like to add to my design. So let's just say I want this one here. All I do is I drag it over and drop it on top, and already my design's taken a very different look. As you add photos and things, you might find that some of your text is not standing out quite as much as you might want it to, so you might have to come back in here and change some of the colors of your text to make it stand out. But finding new photos is as simple as that. If you decide you didn't like that one and you wanted to take it out or go back to what you had, you can either click on the image and hit the trash can up here, or you can hit the undo button, which is up here in the toolbar, and we can just undo a couple of times until it takes us back to where we are. So let's return to that elements box and just show you what else is here. I'll close the photos. The grids are something we're going to look at very soon, as well as the frames. Shapes. If you click on shapes, you'll see there are all different types of shapes. So if you need to add some kind of shape that you want to put text in or on top of, or just to add a design, there are all kinds of different shapes, and the vast majority of those are all free. There are lines as well. So if you wanted to add some types of lines, or decorative lines and straight lines and all different kinds of lines that you could want, arrows and things are on there too. Illustrations. As you'll see, there are all kinds of different icons and logos, and they will either be labeled free or they'll have a $sign next to them, depending on what it is you're looking for. To be honest, I don't go in here very much. I will just search for an illustration with the search bar on the top, but I just wanted to show you the difference between illustrations and what are in here, which are the icons. And the icons are kind of usually transparent objects that you can put on the screen here. So if I wanted to add maybe this laptop, I would just tap it on here, it appears on the screen. I can change the color of the laptop, make it black. I can resize the laptop. I can move it to a different part of the design. I could copy the laptop so that I have two laptops, line that up on both sides here. So you can see very quickly how you can add these types of elements to a design to augment and make it more interesting. There's also charts, which are relatively new. If you wanted to add some kind of graph or bar chart or pie chart or Venn diagram or other type of things, they are in here, and you can drag and drop them in, change the data to edit them and make them look exactly how you want to. So this is really useful for things like infographics and things like that. Let's say, for instance, I was looking for a dog. I just type in dog in the search bar up here, and I will get greeted with all kinds of different results up here. So some of these are for pro members, some of them are going to be free, some of them are going to be paid, but if you scroll through, you'll see a good selection of things on there. You can just find the one you want, click on it, bring it over to your design, recolor it, resize it, move it around, and these are all available here to you. So we looked at the layouts and we looked at the elements. In the next video, we'll look at text and background.